Hey friends, welcome back to yet some more Reddit stories about entitled people, crazy people, and all that kind of stuff. Hope you're all doing awesome today, and as usual, we're getting right into today's Reddit posts. Angry Karen couple attempts to get me fired for, quote, faking having a mental disability while on shift. So I work at a local grocery store in 2 different departments. However, I also deal with a mental disability which is stress-induced, but the managers of the store know that and they support me whenever I need help. Both departments I work in have a lot of customer interactions, but this one was by far the worst one I have ever dealt with. Here's what happened. It started out as a normal shift for me, scanning people's items and asking for their payments. The angry Karen couple came into my lane at the checkout perfectly fine while I was scanning their groceries, which was only about 5 or 6 items, and they happily walk off with their cart. I get through the next 2 customers no problem. But then I see the 2 of them come back into the store through the exit, with their faces as red as the sun. The woman of the couple slams the receipt down on the table, saying, "You overcharged me for my cases of pop. They were supposed to be $4.50 a case, and this says $7.49. I tell the Karen to please calm down as I try to look on the receipt and the computer to figure out why the pop was more than what she said. I apologized to the customers who were patiently waiting in line before they showed up, and thanked them for letting me deal with this. As time went on and I told them, "I'm sorry, but I can't fix this here. Please go to customer service." They respond with, "No, you rang us through, you overcharged us. You either give us the damn money back or call your manager down to do it for you, and we're gonna have some words about you." At that point, my medical condition started to kick in. The angry Karen couples start commenting, "What the hell's taking so long? Call your damn manager down." I told them, "Just give me a minute please, I need to come back to my senses." I explained to them that I have a condition, but they showed no sympathy and just said, "You think faking having a medical condition can get you out of this, don't you? If you really had a medical condition, you shouldn't even be working." After I regain my senses, a kind elderly man, who was waiting for 10 minutes, might I add, stands up for me, saying, "If he can't do the refund here, he can't do it. So if you want to talk about the receipt, go to customer service." And you can clearly see that was no act, so stop claiming he was faking it. After that, the couple just got more angry and went to customer service. They told them about the receipt, and I could overhear them complaining about me faking having a medical condition yet again, and told the manager I should be written up for acting like I have one. At that point, the manager stood back up and said, "Excuse me, I've known this man for 5 years here. I know he has a medical condition, so it's not an act, and you claiming it is fake and getting after him for it is unacceptable in this store." After the manager laid her foot down, I watched as the customers leave the store, looking completely disappointed and frustrated, even though they ended up getting the explanation as to the price of their cases of soda. The man even glared at me, but didn't say a word. As I'm walking up the stairs to the break room, I see a sign on the pinboard on the landing saying that the couple was banned from the store for disrespectful behavior and attempted theft. After seeing that, I was so relieved that I never have to see their faces again. Neighbor taking in a homeless family. My neighbor next door is taking in a homeless family. They have 4 kids, 11, 7, 5, and 1, and my son became friends with the middle 2 boys, 7 and 5. The younger one is fine, but the 7-year-old is causing so many problems. He started to ask us to leave my son's scooter out so he can grab it when he's not playing with my son. He's very rough with my son's stuff and I don't want him to play on the street with no adult supervision, so I said no. One day my son took the boy inside the house before I stopped. My son is 5 and he doesn't understand he shouldn't have. Anyway, since they were already inside the house, I let them play video games. The boy complained that we don't have many games and asked if he can buy one on the online store. Hell no. He acted like it was his house and got on my nerves. My husband took them outside and had the boy go back home since it was getting late. He showed up to my house again around 8:30 and asked if he can sleep in my house. The next day, he opened our front door without knocking. My husband was home and our dog barked like crazy, so he shut the door right away. But after that, he kept ringing the doorbell and asked if he can come in, or open the garage door so he can grab my son's scooter. The same day I was expecting an Amazon delivery, makeup remover, and it was supposed to be there already. They left the pic. Well, the boy stole it. I went next door and the owner of the house came out and she said she'll talk to the boy. When I said it was my makeup remover, the owner was like, "Oh, was that makeup remover? I thought it was lotion, so I put it on my skin." What the hell? She didn't even wonder where it came from? There were 2 bottles inside and she hasn't given it back to me. Probably not going to. The boys still try to play with my son, and my son doesn't understand what's going on. I told him the boy made a bad choice and he can't play with him anymore, but didn't go into the details. The boy comes out when we're playing in our backyard, so I have to have my son go inside. They're gonna stay in my neighbor's house for an extended period of time. They're going to the same school as my son's. I really don't want my son to take the same bus with the boy, and I'm already stressed out. And a commenter here said, "Hey OP, I dealt with this as a child and I'll share my perspective. I didn't grow up homeless, but had the same experience happen to me. I met 2 children while moving, both near homeless / in severe poverty. They were wonderful, but I believe their parents conditioned them to steal. They would go into my house unannounced, take our food, drinks, clothing, toys, etc. They had no idea this was wrong, obviously, because of how they were raised. I agree with the other comments, you must call CPS. I promise you this will not stop. They'll start to steal your kids' items too. The more these kids came by my house, the more and more things went missing. I'm certain their parents told them it was alright to take from their, quote, friends. You must also document everything, lock all your doors and belongings, set up security cameras, ring cameras, etc. They will not get the help they need until the proper authorities step in, and dealing with situations like this is very complicated and drawn out. Your best bet is to get the proper authorities involved. These children have more than likely been taught to fend for themselves and steal for their parents, hence why the parents used your makeup remover thinking it was lotion. I promise you this child's parents will keep sending him to you until you get CPS involved. It's easier for children to steal than a grown-ass adult. But I wanted to f my wife in front of the fireplace. What do I do now? I work at a hotel. I swear the most problematic guests are the ones booking our luxury rooms at the last minute, paying $100 to $120 a night and expecting a full 5-star resort. Dude books one of our bedrooms with a king bed, jacuzzi, and a fireplace. It is written on the website that the fireplace is only operational in the winter. After trying to bargain with a free late checkout, denied. He comes back to the front desk and asks, how do we turn on the fireplace? You don't. The gas system has been shut down for the summer. But I booked specifically for that. I don't know what to tell you, sir. It's 30 degrees outside, 86 Fahrenheit. We shut down the whole gas system for the fireplaces at the beginning of the month and prepared our air conditioners for the hot season instead. Are you going to offer a compensation? Puzzled look from me. No, I said. And this is where he said that one sentence that completely knocked me away. But I wanted to f my wife in front of the fireplace. What do I do now? Moment of silence. I don't know, sir. The fireplace will not work. I can't make it work tonight. Call your manager, find a solution. He goes back to his room. He passed again in front of me maybe 2 hours later, knocks angrily on the desk. Did you find a solution? Waiting for news from my manager, I said. I'm going out for dinner. I will come back after for the solution. When I saw him come back, I went to work in the office. I saw him walk like a lost ape around the lobby looking for me until he went to his room. He probably ended up having a good time with his wife despite the lack of a functioning fireplace, because day shift told me there was no issues this morning and he was in a good mood. Am I the a-hole for hitting a Karen after she grabbed my baby? Yesterday I was at the park with my 6-month-old daughter, Emily. It was a nice day and I was enjoying some time outside with her. I had her in a stroller and we were sitting on a bench when this normal, crazy-looking Karen came up to us. She started making small talk, which was fine at first. But then she started asking all these personal questions about Emily. How old she was, if she was breastfed or bottle-fed, stuff like that. It was getting uncomfortable, so I tried to politely end the conversation. Suddenly, she reached into the stroller and picked up Emily without asking. I freaked out and told her to put my baby down. She ignored me and started cooing and making faces at Emily. I was panicking and yelling at her to give my daughter back, but she just wouldn't listen. In that moment, my protective instincts kicked in. I grabbed Emily out of her arms and pushed her away. She stumbled back from my push as the palm of my hand made direct contact with her face, and she started bleeding from her nose. She started screaming that I assaulted her and was going to call the police. A crowd started gathering and some people were telling her she was out of line, while others were looking at me like I was the crazy one. I got out of there as fast as I could and went straight home. I was shaking and just couldn't believe what had happened. Now I'm worried about what might come next. Did I overreact? Should I have handled it differently? You know, if this woman picking up your baby without permission wasn't already enough cause for alarm, the fact that she just completely ignored you when you told her to put your baby down, I think was good enough reason for you to react in the way you did. I think that was enough for you to assume that she could have had bad intentions, even if she didn't. Safe to say she won't be picking up random people's babies anymore after this. I mean, one can hope. Entitled tourists decide locals speaking Spanish are all stupid. Today I went down to the Walmart subsidiary store here in Costa Rica, Maxipali. Had to get a few household items for my guest house. While I was in the housewares department, I ran into the worst people ever. A woman and man talking with that distinctive Bronx honks kind of accent. The accent caught my ear, and they were talking so loudly about how everyone local was stupid as a box of rocks. It was impossible not to listen, they were so loud. They were literally slamming the very kind people of Costa Rica for not being the same as they were, talking about how awful Tico time is, saying that the local foods were gross, and just a whole giant pile of nonsense complaints about Costa Rica, braying loudly about this being their yearly summer spent in Costa Rica among the peasants. The woman darted in front of me while I was shopping in housewares and blurted out to her husband that I was too slow and stupid to make up my mind. I had paused to consult my list. She thought I was Tico when I'm just as gringo as her. The store isn't that big, and I kept running into them again and again, and biting my tongue at the huge amounts of dirty looks thrown their way. We ended up together at the lone cashier. I conducted my transaction in Spanish, the local language of course, before switching back to English to tell them that here in our community many people speak English, and many that don't speak it still understand it. I told them they were the stupid ones for coming yearly during rainy season. People like this just burn me up. If you're going to go to a foreign country for anything more than a few days, please learn a little about the culture and language and put it to good use. Don't assume others don't understand English if you are going to insult a native population wholesale like this. Anyway, friends, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed and subscribe to the channel for more Reddit shenanigans. So stay awesome, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.